Buenos dias, intrepid viewers. Here we are. We've got something to celebrate. Finally. Go Kansas. Ah! And the breakdown behind the scenes of how it happened is absolutely fabulous. And in the last week or so, I didn't realize I had so many viewers from Kansas. And they had faith that Kansans could do this. But it is absolutely fabulous, fabulous news. Lots of young people, and this is good because it means they're registered to vote, you know. Speaking of which, apparently registrations to vote in states like Mississippi and Tennessee and stuff are way up. And this, like, by hundreds of percent. So that's really unusual. And I think it has to bode well, doesn't it? I think it's young people coming on board. And that's how the country's going to be saved in the end. Young people who can divine the tea leaves. They're obviously getting information on social media and everywhere else. So, bliss. Now, in other good news, Beto's fundraising is going through the roof. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Oh, speaking of Texas, there's a new MAGA group, and they're Mothers Against Greg Abbott. And they are working hard to unseat that, you know, satanic spawn who's been taking up space in Texas for way too long. Oh, things are moving. Now, we have to have a look at Kirsten Sinema. Oh, she's another Nikki Haley, isn't she? You know, got this, you know, quite pleasant face and all of that, and she's holding up the whole of this legislation. So I'm sorry, America, I don't understand how one person can stop a bill of this scale going through for 350 million people. Now, the founding fathers, in their wisdom, obviously did a great job in many ways, but however this was structured back in the early days, it's weird because that isn't democracy. That's the opposite of democracy. That's giving her the power of an emperor, a queen, or a demigod. So, now, she does, well, her work's been done for her because Manchin managed to get rid of just about everything that wasn't nailed down in the bill out. She's asking for two more things. One is, of course, yet another tax loophole for her best friends, but the other is $5 billion tax relief fund. Can't complain about that. So are the Dems going to go for it? Is it going to get across the line? Let's have a look. Oh, right. Well, this is fate and destiny at work here. Bang in the middle, right? The wheel of fortune, all the angels looking on. Now, what's underneath it? The Dems. This is the pain the Dems and consequently all Dem voters have been going through. Absolutely, you know, the loss of every opportunity to pass this bill, that's underneath it. So it's down to the wire with this one woman who has the fate of the nation in her little overly manicured hands. I mean, oh, God. Hopes and fears that she would walk away. They were terrified she'd walk away because, I mean, power goes to people's heads. You know, the old saying, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know, they were afraid of that. However, sanity prevails in the form of a brain, right? This is a major card to have on top of this reading, the King of Swords. I like that. Outcome, mini outcome, the Hermit. Why the Hermit? Well, I think this is backdoor deals being done at the moment. I have to do a clarifier or two on this. It's looking positive overall, but let's see the clarifiers. Oh, good. Cooperation and moving forward. That's a relief. A relief. It should be dancing in the streets, but no one's got the energy left to shuffle along here. Now, something you might have missed is Bannon's lawyers have now said, this is a first. I've been around a lot, I've seen a lot, I've heard even more. But you know what? This is a first. Bannon's lawyers are now saying to put him in jail would be a cruel and unusual punishment for other prisoners because he's such a pain. That's hilarious, isn't it? You've got to have a laugh. So much happening. Guy Reffett from the Texas militia has been given 7 years. And of course, the other thing that happened, the ghastly Republicans who fist pumped their way to blocking the vets getting money had to snivel and crawl back on their bellies and pass it. Please, any vets out there, this should be the last time you need to see what these GOP stand for. They really shouldn't get an armed service vote for the next 300 years. You know, who can forget Trump in France going, you have to be a loser to join the army, Mr. Bonespurs. No, right. Okay, the next thing I want to read on is Alex Jones. Now, he's still shaking his head in the dock while the mother of a dead 6-year-old talks to him. Psst. And I think what will happen is the settlement will be allocated, but, you know, everything will be tied up with bankrupt organisations. Look, he shouldn't be able to come away with a house. He shouldn't be able to come away with a vehicle. He shouldn't be able to come away with a toothbrush. It's just disgusting. But here's the twist in the tale. Oh, I think I'll move to the Toth deck for Alex Jones. We now know that text messages have been lost, not just from the Secret Service, Homeland Security, and Department of Defense. Right. So this is truly deep coup stuff. There was some debate at the beginning, could it even be called a coup? What's the difference between a coup and a resurrection, insurrection, and so on? This is deep coup stuff. But here's the kicker. Alex Jones' lawyers accidentally, I don't know that it was accidentally actually, publicised all his phone records, and now they are the only text messages available for January 6th of all those organisations, because he was supposed to lead the crowd, you know, down to the Capitol and all that. All those text messages have been revealed, oops, accidentally, by Alex Jones' lawyers. I just saw that this morning. Oh, wow. So let's have a look at the impact of that major leak for Alex Jones himself, but also the Jan 6 inquiry. Come on down. All right, now let's have a look at this. This card is interesting in the top deck. It's the Eight of Cups, and the word for it here is indolence, laziness. But it's also got that thing of debauchery and having it too easy, you know. He also, cups being emotion, he has emotionally defiled everyone in his radius for so long. He pushes emotional buttons, right? Now, we've got the High Priestess, so things that were previously hidden have now been exposed. Now, with this Princess of Discs, which is the Knight of Discs, this is the mercenary card in other decks. But look at all these antlers. I think these antler-like images are tributaries of this story. This has huge implications. So as yet, we, the public, don't know, it's still hidden to us, what the content of these texts were. And apparently the other juicy bit, why I think Pentacles has turned up here, is these texts also talked about ways of, you know, protecting money from being part of this lawsuit, etc. Change and manipulation, yes, well, Princess of Swords with her sword raised. Now, this in many ways, it can go either way, the sword of righteousness or the sword of destruction, right? So I would go as far as to say these texts hold the seeds of Alex Jones' destruction more so than he's even looking at in this court case. So why am I thinking Roger Stone? Why? Ooh, get out, get out. Why Roger Stone? Ooh, ooh. Now, what else have I got? Before I get to the big one, and this is important. Oh, in other news, you may have missed this. Russian TV, which is state TV, the main propaganda channel of the nation state of Russia. The anchors were talking the other night saying Moscow hasn't decided yet whether they'll reinstall Trump for 2024. Really? Reinstall. That suggests they're claiming they installed him in 2016, right? That's what that says. I'll leave that thought with you. But we're moving on now to a big topic. It's, I think, the most important thing facing America at the moment. Big, big, big. October, it's being voted on. It's a case called Moore versus Harper in the Supreme Court. Well, you know, party of the Ayatollahs. State rights in federal elections. So what this is about is the right for individual states, legislators, to say who they want as president, regardless of what the voters say. So seriously, really, truly, possibly could, you know, this is so bad. This is, again, this is the sort of death throes of democracy all in one bill. And there's this demented Supreme Court. So we have to keep a really close eye on this story. Oh my God, time's marching on. I'll move back to my normal cards. Not that they deserve it, but Moore versus Harper. I don't know who Moore or Harper is. I should look into this more before I talk to you more about it, but look it up. Moore versus Harper, state legislatures. It's like, in and of itself, it will be truly earth-shattering. And it's just that we're bombarded with so much other news. This stuff sort of gets bumped to the passenger seat, and it's massive. All right, let's go. North Carolina Supreme Court blocked the state legislature from instituting grossly gerrymandered maps. And this is being taken to the Supreme Court. So it's coming via North Carolina. Oh, God. Let's check this out. Oh, these are big cards. Big cards. Oh, my God. Out of 5 cards, we've got 4 major arcana and a queen. All right. Now, we should be getting used to backdoor dealings, are we not? Or things done in secrecy. However, the Hermit shines a light, and it's right next door to the Sun. So I think as opposed to the inward-looking aspects of the Hermit, there's a relief here in the form of the Sun. I think the Kansas story tells us that people are watching, and sane, decent, caring, truly patriotic Americans are actually in the ascendancy here. That's you guys, right? And other things. So it's just you don't hear about it as much because the loudmouths, magician, major transformation, adaptation, and power underlying this. I think there's going to be a woman who's massively instrumental in this case. Because these cards to me are positive that it won't get through, I don't think it's Amy Coney Barrett. It could be one of the remaining women on the Supreme Court, or it could be the losses and criticism of the Supreme Court by women collectively, like the new MAGAs, over this. But I am happy. Here she is. Ta-da! I'm doing my Statue of Liberty impersonation here. So I don't think it'll go through even this repulsive Supreme Court. Oh, but we have to keep an eye on that. No good tarot reader in Australia going, oh, it's fine, relax. No, don't relax. Do not relax. Okay, so I think what we've seen is a shift here. Dem messaging, we've all lamented for 4 years going, the Dems, they've got to get their messaging out there better, but they've redeemed themselves massively with these hearings. I think these hearings have gone, oh, excuse me, oh, that'll be family. You can pick your friends, but not your relations. No, my family's all right. So this is a time when the Dems are cracking through, and Fetterman and Gavin Newsom have had some really successful ads. Have you seen the ones by Fetterman in Pennsylvania about Dr. Oz? And they've got one of the characters from The Sopranos. I can't do a New Jersey accent, but saying something like, come on, man, we know you live in New Jersey, you know. If you ridicule people, it's a very effective tool. And I think the Dems are finally working out, they've caught up with the 20th century, let's hope they catch up with the 21st, that this fight is actually on social media, it's in sound bites, it's quick. People don't want to hear about Clause 64, subparagraph 8. They really don't. Love, I'm here to tell you, they don't. So these punchy ads are really cutting through. I am so happy. Yesterday, I did a lovely collaboration with Laurie from The Way of Positive Change. Thank you, Laurie. I really enjoyed that. So I'm just going to finish with my new mantra, which is if every Democrat voter manages to get one other person on board who wouldn't normally vote. Now, there's some you've got to cut loose from the lifeboat, right? They're just never going to get it. Don't waste your energy on people you can't change. But there may be someone who's just sitting on the fence or hasn't got it together to register yet or needs help getting to the polling booth on the day. If you help one person vote, you are doubling your vote. Loving that. Look after yourselves. Don't let it get on top of you. Just be your wonderful selves. I love you. Commenting, please. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.